Hey everyone, Darren here, looking now at a weekly chart of crude oil. Now again, crude has been through some pretty traumatic times ever since the summer of last year. As we can see, we got under the dynamic trend line sometime in the summer, and we haven't really looked back ever since. In the fall, in about in October, the selling accelerated, obviously, and we've seen that huge down move where, again, the price below the moving averages and below the dynamic trend line throughout. About 4 weeks ago, the price finally got above the dynamic trend line, had a 3 week rally that went and tested our 10 period moving average, bumped against it, and looks like it's now we're below the dynamic trend line again, and looks like it might be rolling over. Let's see what the rest of the indicators tell us. On the composite, we remain negative below that pink line. As you can see, we got under it somewhere here, which is July, as early as July. That was followed by the drop below the midline of the super trend a few weeks later, and that sort of sealed the coffin on this one. And we've been negative ever since, and we continue to be negative. Our trend filter riding the red line throughout. That latest bounce still riding the red line, so did not buy it. Interpreted as a dead cat bounce, and remains on red, although getting closer to the green line. That's something to look more carefully at in the coming couple of weeks. Relative strength again got under the midline in July and just has stayed under the midline ever since. Over the last 4 weeks, as we saw that small counter trend rally up, given the brutality of the move down on a relative strength basis, the last 4 weeks have looked better. So we got above the midline. We continue to be above it. But we are on red bars again. Again, sellers in control on red bars. So sellers dominating the price action for quite some time now. We had the buyers step in for 3 weeks. Sellers back in control this last week, and below dynamic trend line. So we may be looking at crude going down to test the lows it made 4 weeks ago at 44.27. Should these lows get taken out on a closing basis on any given week, that would open the door for a much larger down leg. Should by any chance crude manage to maintain above the relative strength midline and get above the 10 period average, that would probably that would probably open the door for a rise up to that 61 level, which is the 20 period, and that would be formidable resistance there for crude. But right now under the averages, so the bias is still to the downside on an overall basis. I will update you on a need to know basis, and certainly next weekend. Meanwhile, happy trading.